Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Thank you, Saudara Ibrahim. Yang Amat Berhormat Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim, Prime Minister of Malaysia and Minister of Finance, the Honourable Tuan Muhammad Rafizi Ramli, Minister of Economy, Treasury Secretary General Datuk Johan Mahmud Marikan, IC Chairman Datuk Seri Awang Adik Haji Hussein, our partners from Maybank, Chairman Tan Sri Zamzam Zarani, CEO Datuk Karisaleh, Dr. Hasnita, our Bursa Malaysia CEO, Dr. Muhammad Muaswif, and board members, distinguished speakers and panelists, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good morning. Welcome to Invest Malaysia 2023, Malaysia's largest annual capital market gathering. We are indeed privileged that the Honourable Prime Minister, Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim, has agreed to deliver the keynote address at the first of the Invest Malaysia Series 2023. Thank you, Yang Amat Berhormat Prime Minister. Given that today is also International Women's Day, I would also like to take this opportunity to wish all women present in this ballroom and online a happy Women's Day. Well, indeed, we are encouraged that women have become more empowered, also on the board of public listed companies, and we are happy to note that the number of companies where we have at least one woman on board has increased to 80.8% at the end of December 2022, compared to 73.1% at the end of 2021. So there is actually that progress that we have made. But having said that, we would like to encourage the remaining 19% of the companies listed on Bursa Malaysia, at the very least, to have at least one board member from among the women folk. And hopefully that will be achieved later. Ladies and gentlemen, this year's Invest Malaysia theme, Reshaping Malaysia's Narrative, marks the beginning of a new narrative in the capital market conversation, with the first series being crucial starting steps of strengthening resilience and sustaining growth. Please allow me to cover three areas in my welcoming address. Firstly, on the external challenges that we are facing. Secondly, some comments on Budget 2023. And third, a quick outline of today's program. Ladies and gentlemen, against a backdrop of persistent global inflation, ongoing geopolitical conflict, as well as monetary policy tightening, as what's being experienced in the US, for example, global growth has recovered after the height of the pandemic, though it slowed to 2.9% last year, and is expected to only achieve 1.7% growth this year. Having said that, both the global and Malaysian economies in particular are still growing, albeit in some countries at a slower pace. These conditions have brought to light various vulnerabilities, as evidenced by manufacturing supply chain disruptions, weather-induced food shortages, and shipping bottlenecks, amongst other issues that are yet to be fully resolved. Notwithstanding these challenges, the situation has also made space for new strengths, such as an increased sense of urgency to develop and adopt technology and data-driven solutions. Additionally, there seems to be renewed commitment and courage in global leadership and boardrooms to drive transformational changes, such as the UN Sustainable Development Goals, the adoption of ESG principles, and the pursuit of low-carbon future to achieve the 1.5 degrees Celsius pathway. Even at Bursa Malaysia, we are committed to transformation with the 5 PLC transformation guidebooks that we issued last year. Therefore, it is heartening to note that Budget 2023 reflects a great deal of courage in its approach to addressing these problems facing the country and embarking on a journey towards progress. Although expansionary, the budget demonstrates fiscal responsibility and sustainability by setting bold targets for deficit reduction from 5.6% of GDP in 2022 to 5% of GDP in 2023, and further down to 3.2% in 2024. Ladies and gentlemen, we are indeed grateful that Budget 2023 is positive to the capital markets. Apart from the absence of prosperity tax, the budget encourages listings by the tax exemption extension of up to 1.5 million ringgit for listing expenses on Bursa Malaysia's ACE and LIP markets. This exemption also applies to technology companies seeking a main market listing until the assessment year 2025. Separately, the plans for dual-class shares will help attract high-growth technology companies, while the proposed capital gains tax for disposal of shares in unlisted companies come 2024 will also help encourage listing activity. Some of these measures will certainly help us achieve our target of 39 new listings for 2023 compared to the 35 listings that we had in 2022. Ladies and gentlemen, Budget 2023 is the first in a long while that has sought to inspire not just by numbers and generous allocations, but by a narrative that's built upon deeply meaningful and widely accepted human values, while having the potential to create lasting impact in these challenging modern times. Malaysia Madani is clearly committed to bettering the human condition and instilling a spirit of continuous development. Of the 6 key values that anchor Malaysia Madani, 2 stood out from our perspective in Budget 2023, respect and innovation. Respect involves morally accepting good ideas regardless of their origin, and innovation, meaning to innovate upon those ideas and to put them into action. The business world is familiar with the old saying that good ideas are plentiful, but execution is the key to success. And those of us involved in corporate transformation efforts know this to be true. Successful organizations are shaped through strong, value-based narratives. They build a desirable position and attract the right talents and partnerships. The value behind the narrative also grooms the culture that will go on to build, continually guide, and inspire progress, no matter how difficult the challenges ahead are and will be. Ladies and gentlemen, while the highly analytical side of us remains cautious, I'm encouraged by the methodical approach and pragmatism with which we are pursuing our goals. Today's program is intended to emphasize just that. We certainly look forward to hear from the Honorable Prime Minister, Dr. Sri Anwar Ibrahim, our first distinguished speaker for today, who will undoubtedly open our minds with his keynote address. And also, we are obviously looking forward to some perhaps new pronouncements in his speech later. We will then move on to a series of closely interconnected conversations, starting with the Honorable Minister of Economy, Tuan Muhammad Rafizi Ramli, who will discuss the ways and means of strengthening economic resilience and sustaining development. Minister Rafizi was kept busy this morning, engaging with 21 fund managers in the closed-door session. Very interesting conversation that we had, and I'm sure it will continue later in a dialogue moderated by Dr. Omar Swift. Now, this will be followed by the Honourable Minister of International Trade and Industry, Tengku Dr. Sri Utama Zafrul Tunku Aziz, who will guide us through enhancing Malaysia's competitiveness. We will then converse with the Honourable Minister of Transport, Tuan Anthony Loke, on infrastructure development for sustainable growth. And after lunch, we will engage in a discussion with the newly appointed Treasury Secretary General, Dr. Johan Mahmud Marikan, who will delve deeper into Budget 2023 highlights and strengthening fiscal reform. Our final discussion for the day will be with the Honourable Minister of Communications and Multimedia, Tuan Ahmad Fahmi Muhammad Fadil, who will provide his take on developing a thriving digital ecosystem. Yang Berhad, Minister and distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, before I end, I would like to express our heartfelt appreciation to our partner, Maybank, for co-hosting this Invest Malaysia 2023. And special mention to all participants and everyone involved in putting this event together at a relatively short notice and back-to-back to our palm oil conference, which is currently ongoing at the Shangri-La. So a lot of work certainly, but I'm sure that it's all worth it. And it's certainly an honor for us to participate in and to contribute to these conversations. And we are all a part of this exciting opportunity to actively shape and reshape the narrative of this nation, transform its future, and grow with shared prosperity. With that, ladies and gentlemen, It gives me great pleasure to now welcome on stage Maybank's Group President and CEO, Datuk Karusalis Ramli, to deliver his opening remarks. Datuk.